With the Arizona Cardinals' first round pick already locked into the number 4th spot, the questions still remain. What are the Arizona Cardinals going to do with the 4th overall spot in the NFL draft? Let's dive into different scenarios and what the Cardinals can possibly do. Let's get started. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into another video. Definitely do me a huge favor, smack the like button on this video and subscribe for more Arizona Cardinals content. This offseason is going to be absolutely nuts with free agency as well as this NFL draft, so definitely subscribe it up. It's absolutely for free. All right, now before we get started, I want to give a huge shout out to everybody that has clicked the video in this 2023 season. It's been an absolute rough season, I'm not going to lie to you. We got bad news after bad news and it all kind of equated to a 4-win season. Definitely not ideal, but 2024, hopefully, fingers crossed, is going to be a lot better. So let's dive into it, everybody. Let's talk about the NFL draft and what different scenarios the Arizona Cardinals can possibly do. Now, as of right now, I'm pretty sure you guys all know the Cardinals are stuck with the 4th overall spot here in the NFL draft. And let's call it like it is. It's not a bad spot to be in. Now, I get that if the Cardinals did win that Seattle Seahawks game, we could have probably found ourselves maybe 1 or 2 spots down. I think we can actually swap with the Chargers. And I was actually told by a Chargers fan that they wanted us to make that kick so darn bad because they wanted to get Marvin Harrison Jr. because that would put them in a prime spot of possibly landing him, because, you know, in the scenario where it's quarterback, that kind of leaves the best prospect available for the Cardinals to kind of pick, right? Whether that's offensive tackle or the best wide receiver coming out of this year's draft. So I'm excited that we have the 4th overall spot here in the NFL draft. And as of right now, please keep in mind this might fluctuate, but the Texans pick right now is locked in the 21st overall spot here in the first round of the 2024 NFL draft. Now that can fluctuate, especially if they go deep in the playoffs. Now hopefully, fingers crossed, they don't. Hopefully they're a one and done teams, because right now it's a 21st spot and it will actually stay there if they get bounced out. So fingers crossed. We'll have to kind of wait and see how it all shakes out. But let's talk about the 4th overall spot here in the NFL draft, because honestly, I think we're kind of in the same situation that we were in about a week or two ago with the whole is Chicago going to move off of Justin Fields, right? Now, there was a recent video that was kind of put out there by the last media day from Justin Fields, basically kind of making it seem like he's super uncertain of if he's coming back or not. So let's dive into that video here real quick.
I gave him my all, so whether it's here or not, you know, I have no regrets. Just the city of Chicago, love y'all, appreciate the fans and the support from all the Bears, you know, in case this is my last rodeo with y'all, and just appreciate y'all for everything. So, yeah.
To be honest with you, that doesn't seem like a guy that's very, very 100% certain that he's going to be in a Chicago Bears uniform. Now, obviously, he's still under contract with the Chicago Bears, so if they don't do anything, he's still going to be a Bear unless they decide to trade him. I don't know. I think they might trade him after all. Now, obviously, that might be a little biased because I would love Marvin Harrison Jr. to fall to the Cardinals, where the Chicago Bears end up taking a quarterback at the 1st overall spot, but I don't know. It doesn't sound very confident in terms of the way that he's talking, so we'll have to kind of wait and see how this all shakes out. So right now, let's dive into a few different scenarios and what the Cardinals could possibly do, right? So let's live in the dream scenario right now. So let's go to scenario number 1. So let's talk about if Chicago does move off of Justin Fields. Obviously, they would have to trade him away to, you know, accumulate more assets in this year's draft. So let's say the Chicago Bears end up going Caleb Williams or another quarterback, and then Washington gets another quarterback, probably Drake May, and then the New England Patriots probably get Jaden Daniels, right? So that leaves the Arizona Cardinals with the 4th spot, and that's getting Marvin Harrison Jr. Now, I think that would be the most ideal situation for Cardinal fans to possibly get Marvin Harrison Jr. to solidify that wide receiving core, because, man, we need some help. Now, we've seen some flashes of Michael Wilson. We've seen some flashes of Greg Dortch. But other than that, there's kind of a lot of uncertainty, right? We don't know if Marquise Hollywood Brown is coming back. And I've heard the comments from JG pertaining to he would love to bring him back. But there is that money side of it all that he doesn't touch. So he understands. I don't know. I don't think Marquise Hollywood Brown's coming back personally. I hope he doesn't. So we'll have to kind of wait and see how that shakes out. So that's scenario number 1. Scenario number 2 is, what if the Chicago Bears do trade back with either Washington or the New England Patriots. And if they do that, then they possibly don't need a quarterback, and they get Marvin Harrison Jr. So what do the Arizona Cardinals do in that situation, right? So we're kind of in a spot where the Cardinals aren't getting a quarterback, or at least that's, the rumors out there, or at least the most recent report that came out saying that the Cardinals are going to build around Kyler. So we're going to basically roll with that storyline where we're not going to need a quarterback, but if Marvin Harrison Jr. is truly gone, then the Cardinals have a lot to think here, right? We can either trade back and accumulate more or draft picks, because if the Cardinals do trade back, they could possibly get a quarterback needy team that might be getting a crack at Jaden Daniels if he doesn't go. Maybe that can be a scenario, or the Cardinals can get a bona fide, offensive tackle, right? Either that's Olu Fashanu or a Joe Alt. The Cardinals can do that, or they trade back and they still get a wide receiver, right? Whether that's Malik Neighbors or Rome Odunze. So honestly, I think there's so many different possibilities in what the Arizona Cardinals can do. What I would love for their first round pick is to either get a wide receiver or an offensive tackle. Now, unless they trade all the way back, then obviously it opens up more spots. They can get a cornerback, they can get interior defensive lineman. Just kind of really depends on where they get sent back to. Now, obviously, I want to get as much value for the pick as we possibly can. And if we do stay at the 4 spot, you probably have to get the best tackle or the best wide receiver that's going to be available here for the Cardinals. Now, if the Cardinals are going to target a Rome Odunze or a Malik Neighbors, I can see them trading back. If they do get him in the 4th overall spot, I wouldn't be mad, but I feel like that would kind of miss out on opportunity, right? Miss out on opportunity for the Cardinals to possibly, get somebody. Now, we also got to keep in mind here as well that the Chargers, they might need a wide receiver as well. So we got to think of that as well, because if they don't re-sign Keenan Allen, and then Mike Williams is a good wide receiver, but he's hurt a lot. So maybe the Chargers want to go a different route. Maybe they want to snipe a Rome Odunze or a Malik Neighbors. So we also got to think of that as well. So we don't want to trade too far back to where we're kind of in a situation where we don't get our wide receiver and try to get too greedy. So there's so many options out there. I think the Cardinals are in prime position to get a very, very number one whatever, right? Whether you think Joe Alt's the number one offensive lineman or Olu Fashanu, the Cardinals are in prime position to get that. If Marvin Harrison Jr. does fall to the number 4 spot, we can get the number 1 wide receiver in this NFL draft. If the Cardinals decide to go cornerback, they can possibly do that as well. So it's just so many different options here for the Cardinals, and I'm not mad at the loss of the Seahawks. It just was really weird how Matt Prater ended up missing 2 must-make field goals that he usually never misses at all. So really, really weird. But in the grand scheme of things, we're not really worried about 2023 anymore. We're all focusing on 2024. And honestly, the 4th overall spot can really bring us a really, really good asset coming our way as well. So, there's that. And then obviously for that 21st overall, it's really hard to kind of mock somebody to the Cardinals, especially if we're not doing a full-on mock draft, because we don't really know who's going to be available at the 21st overall spot in the NFL draft, right? Maybe somebody might fall to the Cardinals, right? Whether it's an offensive lineman and a cornerback, what scenario happens. So we'll have to kind of wait and see how that shakes out. But for that 4th overall spot, anything could happen. I just want to make sure everybody's fully aware, but there are people available to get if we do get Marvin Harrison Jr. sniped away from the Cardinals. I just want to make sure that I put peace in some people's minds out there that Malik Neighbors is still a wide receiver to look at. Rome Odunze is still a wide receiver to look at, and they are coveted to be possibly top 10, top 15 prospects. Now, I get it. You might not want to pick them up at the 4th overall spot, but if your hands are tied, you might have to go after the guy you absolutely want. So let me know here in the comments below, what scenario would you want, how this all shakes out? Do you want the Cardinals to hopefully get the dream scenario and get Marvin Harrison Jr., or do you not mind the Cardinals going after an offensive lineman because of the whole DJ Humphries injury, right? We also got to think about that as well. So let me know here in the comments below. I appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. Have a great rest of your day and go Cards.